Good morning. So, update on winter storage for fig trees. Just wanted to, I made that video of how to wrap your fig tree, and my family's been using an insulated cement wraps, and my tree's gotten so big that I needed an extra cement wrap, and I ran out of room, and the cement wrap that I got never came in the mail, and I finally just got it. And this cement wrap right here is an R value of about 4.6. It's not nearly as thick as the original one that I have that I got from my grandfather. And the lining is a little bit different. This one probably has a higher R value, or that since technology has gotten better over the years, since they made this cement wrap, which was probably 40 years ago, that this one could be a little more up to date with reflective materials that they use on the outside of the wrap and what they use on the inside. But this is a 3/8 foam insulated cement wrap. And so now that I kind of wrapped up my tree already and I ran out of cement wrap, I used burlap and then a tarp, and then I draped another tarp over the top. So I think what I'm gonna do, because the insulated cement wrap works every single year for my family, why would I do something different? So at some point I'm gonna unwrap the top and maybe take the burlap off. I don't know. It depends what the temps are like. It's not like it's super cold, but you know, it's just a lot of work. But I'm gonna probably just take the top off, use that cement wrap up at the top, and then I'll drape the tarp over the top and call it the day. This way I know 100% that my tree will be back next year. Because that's my main concern, is preserving my 20-foot fig tree for the next season, which has a huge amount of Breva crops that's going to come out next year. And I'm predicting at least 500 to 600 figs of Breva just off of this one tree. So I want to make sure that this tree stays alive, because I love watching this bad boy grow. So any other people out there that are just starting to grow figs, you know, there are other methods that are easier to do than the cement wrap. You can bury them under the ground, which I also do. And also what I tried new this year is I have a couple of raised beds around the house, and I dug into the raised bed and buried a few into the raised bed, threw some leaves over the top and a tarp. Another thing that I tried new is, I'll go over and show you what you can do, which I think is a pretty good idea. You know, it saves a lot of time, and if your plants aren't super big and they're small, you know, instead of having to dig holes and do all that jazz, if you have a storm door, okay? And the basement could be heated, but in the storm dorm, you will get the cold weather, and it's dark. And what I did here is I just stacked up some trees where it will be cold, but also not, it won't kill the trees. Like this method is sure to work. So, but the only thing is that if you have to get down here in the winter months, you know, opening the door and exposing it to the elements on the outside could be an issue. So I would take that into consideration if you consider doing something like this, you know. So if you had to move them inside the basement temporarily just to do what you need to do, you could do that. But yeah, this is a new little thing I'm doing for my smaller trees. You know, I got my daughter's tree over here. She's got a couple trees that I gave to her and she took care of. She's 4 years old and she has her own fig trees. She's got her own little white Marseille over here. She's got her own little Chicago Hardy, a family black Italian fig. That's a family tree brought from Italy. And then she has herself a Peter's honey that she took a shoot off a tree last year, and that grew. And then there's my plant, another black Italian family tree. Yeah, she does pretty well for a 4-year-old. Anyways, without having to bore you guys, you know, this is another option of winter storage. Simple for easy trees, small little trees. Why not? I still have a few that I think over here what I'm gonna do is, because I have a wall on the outside, so I'm just gonna load this up with leaves and then throw a tarp over the top of it and call it the winter, and see how these trees make out. These are a bunch of small trees that I don't really care for. It's just space. The Chicago Hardies, I'm not a big fan of Chicago Hardies. I don't think the fig is that good. But I have the trees, and so this is going to be a little science experiment for myself. I'm going to really load it up with some dry leaves and throw a tarp and see how it does. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, guess what? I don't care. All right. Well, got my lobster traps over there. Yeah. Just grow figs. You gotta go out and catch some lobsters too. Here's another tree that I have. Now this is where I got those Chicago Hardies. Is off of this one tree in the 20-gallon pot. The lady that gave me this tree just let it die down. So the root establishment in this tree is really developed. Probably 15, 20 years. The lady just let it die to the ground every year. Which, or just like cut it back, I don't know. It's just a waste. It didn't really produce much. The fig wasn't that good. So I'm probably just gonna put some burlap over it, fill it up with leaves, and put a tarp around the outside and see if it survives. Again, I don't really care if this tree survives or not, but if it does, it does. We'll see how strong and hardy it is. All I care about is my daughter's trees over there and that big beast right there. Because eventually I'm gonna get it producing 1,000+ figs a season. Just look at the size of this thing. It is a beast. Like, I don't understand why people would cut their fig tree down to a stump and like ruin all that growth that you accomplished in the season. And it baffles me. I mean, and they're knowledgeable people, and it doesn't, I don't know. I feel like that this method of cement wrap is the easiest method of trees. I mean, you can prune, you can let them grow tall, you can do whatever you want and get a huge production of figs that are huge in quality, because the trunk and the branches are so mature that it just the root system develops with the tree. I don't know. Look at the size of this thing. I can't wait until next season. Anyways, you guys have a blessed winter. Good luck with your fig trees. And I'll continue to make some updates and fill you guys in. Take care.